Hello, Busy Bee Granny here. Thank you for joining us. Well, as promised, I want to demonstrate how to make the chicken cordon bleu sandwich. Now, the ingredients I posted earlier on my Facebook, but for those of you that are Instagram, I'll run through it real quick. You need 2 cans. I use Pillsbury croissants. You'll need 2 cans of those. That'll be a great thing to have. Then you need 2 packs of Swiss cheese, sliced, okay? Makes it a whole lot easier to work with. Then you'll need a pack of sliced ham. Now you can have any kind of ham you want, but we're kind of, we like this smoked ham. So I like the flavor of it, and it turns out really good. Okay, then you'll want that. And another thing that you want is about a cup of shredded chicken. Now I use chicken breast, and I put 3 large chicken breasts in a crock pot so that I can use 1 for this, and then I have 2 for tomorrow. And it saves time, and they're really good. Just cook them in the crock pot all day and you got it. And you'll need your trusty little pastry brush. And the reason why, we'll show you in a little bit, but I really like these. This one has probably been used quite a lot. And you will need about a tablespoon and a half of melted butter inside a little glass bowl. Now, you're probably wondering what the glass bowl has to do with making a sandwich. Well, I'll tell you. I'm going to show you. We put it in the middle of a pizza pan. Now, I use a pizza pan that is non-stick so that I don't have to worry about greasing or anything. But you can use any pan that you want to. It doesn't have to necessarily be a pizza pan. It could be rectangular or square, just as long as your bowl fits in the middle and you can layer your croissants around it. Okay, so what do you say we get started? Take your little trusty can of croissants and let's open these up. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, you'll want to preheat your oven to 425 because it'll probably take maybe 12-15 minutes to bake. We pop our can open. Oh my goodness, this one is really sticky. And you'll want to separate your croissants one at a time. Okay, ooh, ooey gooey. And it's kind of nice that they have them all spaced out. Oh, and I put parchment paper down around my pan because it just seems to keep the area cleaner and it makes it much easier for me. I'm kind of a messy cook, as you can tell. Okay, I have one of my separations. Now I'm going to start layering this around on my pan, one at a time. Boy, this one is just not separated really good. So I'm going to have to do it myself, which is fine. It still works. You just got to work with it. Okay, so we want to put that around your pan. And I'm just going to toss that one aside. It's a little bit messy. And you'll want to make a single layer all the way around first. Okay? If you overlap these too much, then it takes a lot longer for them to cook. So, you'll see how your croissants are shaped, and you can lay them around your little bowl according to the shape. Here we go. Trying to keep my bowl in the center where I want it and still get it really good. Okay, there we go. I have that first row done. Now, you'll want to take your extra and place them around in between your sections. See, we have one already. Let's open the other can. It's really very simple to make. I know, I was telling our daughter that showed us how to do this. I was telling her I got these croissants and I couldn't figure out how to open the can. I'm used to the regular biscuits. You just, smack it and the thing comes open. Well, it took me a while to realize it's a little bit different. Okay, here's another one that we're just going to toss to the side. All right, so we unrolled this one. Boy, these probably should have stayed in the refrigerator a little bit longer. I just got them at the store, so they're not as cold as I like them. Okay, so in between, you put this on there. Now you can even make your own if you want to, out of regular biscuits. Just shape them, roll them out, and put them on. And it's very simple to do this. Now, I'm noticing that we have a lot of overlap with our dough. And I tried this before when I made it a couple of weeks ago. And I'm not fond of all of that extra layered dough on top of each other. So what I do, it's your preference. What I do is I just pinch some of it off, because I found that when it overlaps too much, it makes it doughy and takes a little bit longer to cook, and you're running the risk of having the tops burn, and we don't want that. So you just keep layering this around to where all of the sections are filled in. And with me, with this one, I'm going to have a little bit left over, I think. And that's perfectly all right. You can throw them in the oven and bake them for later, if you'd like. These croissants were not really, really good. Look at this. Ah! So don't worry about it. It's dough. It will cook. You just want to kind of make sure that it fills in all the gaps. And I'll show you the reason why in just a little bit. So we have extra dough. We'll do something with that in a little bit. All right, your next step to this is to get your cheese. Now, the recipe calls for Swiss cheese, and that's fine. But I'm not a Swiss cheese person. I really don't care for Swiss cheese, but for the sake of making this to show you, we'll just go ahead and use Swiss cheese. My preference is Velveeta or even American, but I'm not a Swiss cheese person. So you see how I did that? You layer it around. Now you'll want to take your chicken, and my hands are clean, so I'm just going to grab some chicken, and you'll want to put this chicken around here. And the reason why I say a cup to a cup and a half of chicken, it depends on how much you want on your sandwich. Now remember, where each one of these little tails are around here will be where you cut your sandwich. So you want to make sure you get your chicken in here, and don't be afraid to put it in there. My husband and his brother, they like chicken. So this will be something that they'll enjoy. The first time I made this, I was afraid they wouldn't like it. But Dave did, and Don said he liked it. So that made me happy. Okay, I've got that put around there. That's pretty good. Fill in a few little gaps here. Okay, set the extra aside with this dough. Put it over there. Now you're going to take your sliced ham. And this is what I do with my ham. I get the Bar S because it was on sale. I love sales. Now, you'll want to put your ham layered on top of your chicken. Just like that. Okay? Now, you want to overlap it because it being rectangular, you're going to need that extra so that everybody gets bite. All right? There we go. Now I just do a single, we got a fly in here. I just do a single layer of the ham. Okay, we got that. There we go. Now, I'm going to get my cheese and you'll make another layer of cheese on top of that. And it's really, really good. Even though I don't like Swiss cheese per se. But this recipe I do like. So, if it were just Dave and I would probably use Velveeta cheese. But since I'm doing it according to recipe, we'll do it this way. Okay? I hope you're having a good day. We are having an awesome summer so far. We've had very few triple digits in weather, and for Arizona, that's a miracle. Okay, I have put my extra cheese back in the bag. We'll save that for another project. Now, you're asking, what's the brush for? Well, I'll show you in just a couple minutes. All right, I'm going to take my bowl out and I'm going to grab the tails and lay them over and tuck them underneath the ring. Okay? Now don't worry about being pretty. Cooking a really good meal is not all about being pretty. I watch some of these cooking shows and, oh, that looks like a disaster. Well, maybe it does. But if it's edible and people like it, I don't have a problem with what it looks like, as long as it's good. Okay, so here we go. You just fold everything over, and if you got a piece of chicken just kind of falls out, you grab it and stick it in there somewhere. That's what I just did. Okay. This is looking really good, and it's going to turn out really well. Now that little piece right there is not very big, so I'm going to grab me just a little bit here of the dough that I had left. And I'm going to add it to that because I want that covered real well. Okay, now we got another one right here. Now don't be afraid to tuck your ham back in there if it's sticking out too much. Okay? Alright, there we go. Now, here's what you use your butter for. You get your butter and you brush it on top of your croissant. And the reason you do that is so that it browns and that it won't burn so easy. Okay? So you want to do that. Now, normally I just use my hand. I get in there and get all messy and greasy, but for you guys, I don't want to gross you out. So. All right, here we go. My oven is preheated to 425, and we're going to stick this in there and let it cook until it's browned really nice on top, and then it'll be done. I kind of didn't get this perfect brown, but it's good enough. So here we go. We have our croissant made, and it, like I said, it's just up to you how long you leave it in the oven. You may want to leave it in a little longer than others, but I like to leave mine in to where it's just kind of a nice golden brown, not burnt and not pasty looking. Okay, so I'm going to stick this in the oven, and we will be back and show you what it looks like after it's done. Okay? Hope you're making this with us. See you in a few minutes.